Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to tell you about education in Chile. Education in Chile is a topic that is a little bit complicated, especially if you are just coming to the country, because you will hear a lot about primer básico, segundo básico, secundario. It's all a little bit complicated when you just come into Chile. So I wanted to tell you some general things about education and also the classes and how you go through education if you live here in Chile. So, first things first, there is no free education in Chile. Why do I say so? Of course, there are some free public schools, but the level of education there is so low, I wouldn't even consider it as education. If you want to have good education for you, for your kids, you need to pay. And you need to pay a lot. And actually, the more you pay, the better the education is in general here. But as far as the level of education goes, it's not that high, even if you pay a lot of money. For example, me coming from the St. Petersburg State University, I had a free education because I had good grades and stuff. And some things that Chilean people are telling me about the general history or geography or some generally known facts, it just makes my jaw drop, to be honest. Because some of the facts that I consider a well-known fact are not so well-known here in Chile. And it's all in the education that they put in kids. And for example, if you give your kids to the kindergarten, how is the process in Russia? You give your child to the kindergarten and they start learning. They do have some learning activities from very beginning. And here it's not like that. Here they just keep an eye on the kids, hoping they will not kill each other. And you need to pay a lot of money for that. So, for example, when I was considering to put in my kid in the kindergarten, we went to the one that is very famous here. It's Vitamina. They have a lot of offices. And they do have kind of a good reputation. We had to pay 380,000 pesos per month, plus you pay the same amount just to get your child inscribed. They have more than 20, sometimes 30 kids in the same group and only 2 people watching them. The level of education is zero. My child learned nothing from there. She was stressed. I was stressed. We didn't want to go to this kindergarten after the first week because it was so bad. She came home with bites. She came home in different clothes. And you pay so much money for such a low level of education. That is just something I cannot understand here in Chile, to be honest. Plus, you need to pay since the kindergarten for your kid. You need to pay for all the additional activities and you pay until they graduate. So it's more than 20 years of payment for education. And the education is not even that good. Because even the government universities, for example, they are not free. They are free for you only if you apply for the scholarship and you get it, but it's extremely hard to get a scholarship. By the way, a side note, if you're coming from a different country and you have kids and now you're moving to Chile and you're thinking about enrolling them in school or university, nobody will ask at school if they know Spanish. You can send your kid to school with 0 level of Spanish as long as you pay money. And while I'm talking about you enrolling your kids in Chile at school while being a foreigner, how is the process here? So remember that the school year here, it starts in March and it goes all the way until December, January, depending on the grade you're in. To enroll your child in school, even if he or she doesn't speak any Spanish, you have 2 options. You can come to the school directly and talk to the principal of the school, show the birth certificate of the child and say that they're this old, we want to go to this grade. Or you go to the education center of the neighborhood, of the community you're living in, and they will assign you to some school. In most cases, they don't even ask for the previous education certificate, so you don't even need to have these papers that your child finished this amount of grades. You're just saying he or she is this old, so we are going to this grade. It's pretty easy. And then you just do the contract, you pay the money, and you are enrolled in the school. So now let me tell you a little bit about structure. How is the structure go? Here, at least for me, it was very confusing at the beginning that they call school colegio. Colegio for me, I guess for you might be too, it's like college, so it's after school, right? So you finish school, then you go to college. Here, colegio is school. You put your kinders to the kindergarten, which is just like keeping an eye on them. You need to go to preschool until they're 5 years old. Then you go to primary school, which is básica. They are divided into 8 grades, and the kids are there from 6 till 14 years old. This is what they call primer básico, segundo básico. This is the primary education. Then you can go to the secondary school, which is called media. There are 4 grades, and kids study there from 15 till 18 years old. And here in the secondary school, in the media, you can learn science and humanities, or you can go into technical and professional. If you're going to the technical and professional school, then you can have a job right after you finish it. If you go into science and humanities, you can later go to the university. The universities, they have government universities and they have private universities. As I have already mentioned, you need to pay for both of them. Private ones here are better usually in quality and more expensive. And the amount you need to pay for education depends highly on the education you're getting. Like one of the most expensive university would be a university for engineers, for doctors, for architects. You can also go not to the university, but get a professional degree at the professional institute, which are a general construction worker, cleaner, baker, and so on. And they also have CFT, which are technical schooling centers. They're only private, there are no government technical schooling centers in Chile. And there you can get only technical degree. So this is the main structure. And finishing up this video, I just wanted to talk about 2 things that were really surprising for me about the education in Chile. First things first is that everywhere you have a uniform. And most of the uniforms are so that the girls, they're wearing skirts, the boys, they're wearing pants. But the uniforms, yeah, as soon as you go to the básica, you need to wear a uniform. And the second thing that surprised me a lot was that they still have a lot of schools divided by gender. So they have only boys or only girls schools. In Russia, I think we don't have it since the beginning of 20th century, after the emperor was killed. But here, yes, you will find it a lot, just boys or just girls school. So that's it for today. I think I covered most of the topics about education in Chile. If you still have some questions, if you have some comments, don't forget to write me. I will be super happy to answer you. And thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.